Hello, it's Friday, November 24th of 2023, and today I'm going to be visiting not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 6 different stations, all called 86th Street, and I'll be comparing and rating the artwork and tiles in each. So the name 86th Street has actually been assigned to 6 completely different stations, which is the most out of any other station name on the system. Technically, 23rd Street you could consider to be assigned to 7 stations, if you include the path and Court Square 23rd Street. But if you just include 86th Street, like no extra Court Square, blah, 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 then 86th Street is the highest out of any other. So I'm starting my journey on 86th Street on the 1 line, which also has the 2 and 3 going in the middle, in the standard New York local stop station layout. So in terms of layout, it's quite unremarkable, but there are some very interesting aspects. Well, we have basic tiles here on the wall with just 86th Street, but we have these really cool art pieces along most of the entire platform. So along the platform is such a huge variety of artwork that it would be impossible to show each individually, but I can show a few of them here. They're all sort of the same style, but they all show quite different things. I think they're very cool. I just think that art in transit is not appreciated nearly enough as it should. That's why I'm trying to do this and show you a bunch of different artwork at stations. In addition to all that artwork, we also have these classic Broadway line tiles here on the 1, 2, and 3 with the station name, and also this cool trimming, which I think these have been restored quite a few times since they were first put in. But yeah, I think these are really nice touches. And of course, all of what I've shown on this side is duplicated on the downtown platforms as well. So in terms of artwork, I think I'll rate the station maybe a 6 or 7 out of 5. Really cool artwork, no big mosaics or anything, but pretty nice. Okay, now I'm gonna walk about 5 minutes east to Central Park for the B and C line station. So I forgot to mention that last stop on the 1 did not have an elevator, and this next one on the B and C also does not have one. Luckily, there are a few stations today that are accessible, and I'll be sure to ride those elevators. Here we are at the second 86th Street stop of the day. That's kind of hard to say. And you'll see that this one has actually a very different station layout, although it is a local stop as well. For one, we have, Central Park right here. Great view, really expensive apartments. But inside, it's even more interesting, I think. Down we go. First thing I noticed is that they have a live departure board right here, which is very nice. You can also see that the payment barrier here has been modernized, and there's these nice plastic plexiglass panels between the paid and non-paid part. So right after you pass the barriers, you're put right onto the Uptown platform. Also, interestingly, the platform is actually longer than the train by about 1 car. I think that's the same on every other station here on Central Park. Anyway, what I was saying at the very start is we have the Uptown platform right here, the local platform, Express behind it. And if you want to go downtown, you have to go down 1 floor, which is interesting. Downtown down, Uptown up. Before I went down though, I wanted to show you this cool mural, mosaic here. Well, it's mosaics, and then there's like basically a picture or a painting. That's a painting. It looks like a picture from far away. It's really cool. But there's one of these essentially on every stop along Central Park Central Park Avenue West. We also have the classic subway tiles again, these awful benches because they don't want homeless people sleeping here, I guess. And I can't not mention these amazing screens that they put in, which show essentially just what stop you're on in the next ones, which for most cities, that's pretty standard, but here is very new, really helpful for navigation. One small nitpick about these live maps is that the pixels are so big that they kind of blend in. If I look at a station here, NRW, I don't know, it's just so pixelated, it's really annoying to read. Anyway, let's go down and see if there's anything interesting down here. So the tracks look very similar, but we also have this really amazing mural here in the same style as the one above. It's so big, I can't even fit it on the camera without... Oh, there we go. It's a little better. I keep saying mural. It's more mosaic than mural, really. Look at that star. So in terms of cleanliness, it's pretty much the same as the 1-line stop, basically with that New York grime. So can't really give it any bonus points on that one. Anyway, with all that said, now let's get out and go to the next stop. Well, actually, before I go, I should probably rate the station first. I think in terms of layout, I don't know, it's pretty decent, it's pretty interesting, maybe an 8. I quite like it actually, the double-decker style. But in terms of artwork, I'd give it maybe a similar 6 or 7, just sort of one mosaic per floor. They're kind of my style, not the best, but they're very nice, and I like the effort at least. In terms of these tiles, nothing too interesting with that. So as you can see on this map, the 1 and the B and C were quite close together, but the next, the 4, 5, and 6, which is an express stop 2, is across the park. So I'm gonna take this bus to get there quickly, crosstown bus. What's interesting about the M86 is that it's actually M86 Plus, or a select bus service, where you buy the tickets before you enter the bus. But strangely enough, if you have Omni, so if you're using like Apple Pay or a credit card or something with the new system, you just pay on the bus, you don't buy it before, which is weird. I feel like you should just buy it before anyway to simplify the process and board faster through all the doors like they're doing, but I don't know. Now I'll just wait, I guess. It says like 7 minutes of out frequency. I can actually see it down the road. Here we are at the third 86th Street station of the trip with the 456, and as you can see, the station is only partly, barely accessible, with only the Uptown 6 platform having elevator access to it, which is not great, better than nothing, but like a 1 on accessibility. You kinda did it. Down. Oh, it's coming up. In we go, and to the platform we go. Is this only to the 6, like directly to the platform? Okay, so here's the payment barrier, and I think this is the 6th platform. Wait, let me go in and see. I did not realize how interesting the station was. So it's an express stop, but it looks just like a local stop, right? You just have 2 tracks, that's it. But the express tracks are underneath the local tracks, which is sort of rare, but that's interesting. It's different than on Central Park West, where you had one direction express local and then the other direction express local. Here, it's the top is local in both directions and the bottom is express in both directions. In terms of tiles, we have these cool tiles. We have Uptown Trains tiles, which are cool. 86th Street, we're gonna see a lot of that number still. 86th Street here, and also, that's the street. I also noticed that at an accessible station, the little 86th Street thing has a little accessibility sticker. We have the Diamond 6 pulling in. I love the red diamond. In terms of artwork, on the way in, I noticed these really cool eye murals with, like, here, this one has animals, there's stars, sort of eyelashes, but the eyelashes are buildings. It's really cool. I love these mosaics. I feel like this video should just be called Non-Art Person Tries to Explain Art. Anyway, with that said, on the other side of the turnstiles, we have a sort of a reflection of that first mural. It's quite similar, same sort of animals, same sort of design, but it's like a lighter version. Violin. Tall ceilings here. I love these boards because the frequency that they refresh is exactly the refresh rate of the camera, so they look great. Yeah, they only look good because it was in 30 FPS. If I put it to 60, it does not. Anyway, now time to rate the station's artwork. I think I'll give it an 8 out of 10 actually, because it has these tiles, these mosaics all across the platform, and I really like those eyes. I've also enjoyed that every single station so far has had a different station layout. Hopefully that continues. I think it will, for the next one at least, because it's the Q on the new 2nd Avenue extension. Also, can someone explain to me in the comments what the stair codes mean in New York? I've noticed, and I have noticed for a long time, that every single stairway in a metro station has a different number and letter. So if anyone knows what that means, please let me know. I like how the 2 exits here are Lexington and 86th, or 86th and Lexington. Let's go down, or down. So here's where the elevator leads to, just at the bottom of the escalator bank. I just want to mention that this station is accessible because it was built very recently, and the Americans with Disabilities Act requires that all new transit stations be built with elevators, and all new buildings for that matter. So here's the first artwork that you see, and it's actually a portrait, but from close up, because of all these like pretty big ceramic tiles, you can't really tell what it is. But as you go backwards, you can start to see that it makes a portrait. I love this sort of artwork, and this station is full of it. We also have a bunch of cool maps on the way, and you can already see another one. This one is not as abstract, nowhere near, but it's still quite pixelated, as you can't really tell what it is from close up. So here we have the mezzanine level, which is honestly way too overbuilt, but it's pretty nice, makes the station quite roomy. And here we also have a bunch more portraits in a similar sort of style. Actually, not a similar style at all. This one has way finer mosaics. Look at the hair. Look what they do with the hair here on the edges. It's like purple. It's so nice. Someone's also playing some jazz down there. A little early on the Christmas stuff, but like it anyway. I feel like jazz people are gonna get angry at me for calling it jazz. I'm really in doubt as to whether I'll actually give the station a 10, maybe a 9. I think I'll give it a 9. I'll just settle that because there are just stations with slightly better artwork and they're slightly more pretty, but this is one of the best. Of course, none of these rankings are objective. They're 100% subjective. Any person could rank them completely differently. Maybe they just hate the artwork, but I don't know. This is just what I think. This one may be one of my favorites with the little tiny circles. Close up, what is it? And only when you go far back can you see that it's a portrait. Really cool, love it. I'm pretty sure they're all made by this same guy, Chuck Close. Or Close, who knows? I'm just gonna go down to the platform to get a train shot. I find it interesting that both departure boards on the platform show trains for both platforms. It's not like this one just shows trains for this platform and this one just for this platform. They both show both. Also, unfortunately, there's no dedicated artwork on the platforms, but they do just look quite nice. So extra points for that, I guess. Well, still a 9. Coffee shop. 86th. So with this 4th station, that's actually all of the 86th Street stations in Manhattan. The next 2 are secretly in Brooklyn. So that'll be a bit of a trek, but shouldn't take more than an hour. I'm gonna take the subway south from here, I think to DeKalb. Then I'll switch to the R to go to the one on the R line near the terminus. Here's my train. No, it's this one. Good, I am going the right way. Almost went the wrong way there. I think this is the best transfer I could have hoped for. DeKalb Avenue is actually one of the most complicated and interesting stations. That's pretty cool here, but that's a story for another video. So here we are at the 5th and penultimate 86th Street station. It's very quiet here, sort of whispering, don't really know why. And I'm sad to say that this one does not seem to have any dedicated artwork, at least on the platform level. Although it is accessible, as you can see with the little blue accessibility mark that you can kind of see right there. So we'll check the elevator out. I do really like the tile work here, and also the walls are kind of undulating, which is kind of cool. Technically, the station layout is exactly the same as the Q stop we were just at with the island platform, but it's so different. Like, it doesn't have the same sort of mezzanine. It looks way older. That it's basically a different station layout, even though it's the same sort of track layout. Seeing 4th Avenue is kind of funny because Manhattan does not have a 4th Avenue, but we're not in Manhattan. Let's try the elevator.
Bye, Trey.
So here's the elevator with the little ramp that I just came up from, but look at this. There's this really cool mosaic of just a little country town with some townhouses detached and attached. This is really cool. This bumps it up from like a 2 to a 7, I would say. I think this is a 7 station because there's no art on the platforms, but this really makes up for it. Why is this subway sign so big? It just says subway, and then it's like they forgot to cut the boards. They just stuck it across the whole fence. Never seen that. But yeah, here's the other 86th Street here in Brooklyn. Still looks like New York, that's for sure. Except all the buses now have B's instead of M's. Seems like the R is every 12 minutes too. Oh yeah, also I forgot to take the elevator up. I just took the one to the mezzanine. I'll be sure to take that one on the way down. That was a cool elevator. The elevator doors are like at a 90-degree angle instead of like a 180-degree. So that was interesting. I think I may have missed the train, so I'll have to wait like 12 minutes. But that's fine, I guess. 12 minutes is a bit ridiculous though. I've heard that the R line is bad, but it's a little strange. Unless there's one that's just not scheduled correctly. Maybe there's one that's missing and it'll come earlier, hopefully, fingers crossed. Since I have to wait so long here anyway, I think I'm just gonna take a train to Bay Ridge, one stop, just to check out the terminus, and then come back up to 59th at the same time that I would if I just stayed here. This is very cool here at the end of the car. It's like a comic book. So made it here to Bay Ridge, 95th Street, and now I'll just take the train on the other platform back uptown. Up. You don't really say uptown in Brooklyn. Seems like they forgot to change the direction on the boards. Quick transfer. I think we're gonna go outside now. This is that freight line where the Interborough Express is planned to run along. This is New Utrecht Avenue. Oh, you don't say Utrecht though. I say Utrecht. Utrecht. These middle express tracks aren't used. This is the next stop down. I love these stations. Look at those arches, and there's like stuff on top, and the artwork's cool. Wow. Wow. It's very tight. So here we are at the 6th and final 86th Street station on the N line to finish us off. And this station is incredible. I really like it. The station is a work of art itself, and I love this artwork. Like, look at this. I'll show you more in a second, but it's just really, really cool. I love like the dot motif. Also, it's like there's like crumpled maps. Like it's a bus map, but it's mosaic. And there's like other older maps. I don't know what these are from, but this is just like a Manhattan bus map. No, not a Manhattan bus map. A Brooklyn bus map. And guess what? This is the stop that I was just at, 86th Street on the R. Yeah, I could have taken the bus here, but I like the subway better. This station is full of artwork at every single part, and they have like maps included. This is incredible. I love this, and I love the arches. I love that there's houses on top of the platform. That's just really cool to me. Like, look at this. It looks more like a mainline rail station than a subway station. We have that sort of older New York overpass there. It says 1914, so pretty old. We have these nice colorful houses on top. We have just the underside of the bridge is really cool too that I was just at. I've also noticed that the station is very, very empty compared to the other stations on this line really, and yeah, it makes it nice to record. I also noticed that on this side of the platform, the easternmost side, the side close to Coney Island and the Yard, there is an exit that's for employees only, like an employee only bridge, which is interesting. But anyway, I've really come to this quieter side of the platform to talk about why I made this video, the purpose of the video. And it's two things. One, to show appreciation for the art in the subway of New York. There is art at almost, I think, every station. I can't think of a station that does not have any artwork. Let me know again if there are any. That would be interesting, but I can't think of any. I live in DC now, and there's artwork in none of the stations, and just to see, or not none, but a quarter or less, and to see so much artwork, so much good artwork is really refreshing. It's really nice. I love it. I think it adds so much to a transit system. And the second thing I wanted to talk about, or the purpose of the video, was just to show that New York has this problem of there are so many stations with the same name that are in completely different places that are not connected. And there are also stations with different names that are connected. For example, I passed like 14th Street and 5th Avenue or something on the L. But yeah, so it just makes it confusing for wayfinding. And I've had an instance where someone was like, meet me at 110th Street station, and I've gone to the wrong one accidentally because I just stayed on the train instead of transferring or whatever. And that's a big problem. So that kind of needs to be addressed. I wish that, for example, this street could be called 86th Street Gravesend because it's in the Gravesend neighborhood. I wish they all had like suffixes so there wasn't as much confusion. But I digress. It's okay as it is. Wait. The actual final thing, just here's a table of all of the scores that I've given to all the stations. It doesn't really matter. These are all subjective, like I said. I urge you to make your own scores, rate the artwork yourself, make your own lists, go out on the subway as you can, find artwork, and just look at it. Don't take my word for it. This is my opinion. So yeah, like I said, that's all from me for today. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one for more good content. Bye! Oh yeah, also, there are no elevators here.